All right. Hello. This is day 10 of studying compilers every day. ah. Okay, as day 10 of studying compilers until I land a compiler role. Today's tasks will just be pretty much the standard, just continuing on with kaleidoscope stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna do the leetcode daily. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Then I'm gonna go back to kaleidoscope and finish the file input stuff that I started last time. Because last time we got the main loop working, and then we got it to output IR to a file. But the other thing I wanted to do was allow it to take input files, so it was less annoying to like type everything in by hand. So hopefully I can get that done. And then if time permits, I'll start the next part of the kaleidoscope tutorial, which is support for just-in-time compilation and the optimizer. I am a little bit pressed on time just because since I'm back at home, I'm meeting up with some of my high school friends to get dinner. So it is currently 5 in PST, and I don't think people usually like to eat dinner past 7. So this stream will have to inevitably be a little bit abridged, but we will see how that works out, I suppose. That doesn't change what we're trying to do, which is, first of all, leetcode. Shout out the daily check-in. Count square submatrices with all ones. Oh boy. Okay. So I guess it's just counting week, huh? Interesting. There has to be a... What is the clean way to do this problem? I guess we can just mark corners at every iteration to minimize the amount of backtracking that needs to be done, but it's a little bit awkward. Actually, yeah, that might work. And then we just count 2x2 squares with the corners. That might be the play. I think that's probably a good first try at least. So let's write that. So we're gonna int min size is min side. So we want the minimum of m and n. So min of matrix dot size, matrix 0 dot size. For an I 0, I is less than min side. Yeah, let's keep going, I guess. And then this loop determines sort of the largest size square that we check at a time. Let me just adjust my YouTube stuff real quick so I can actually see everything. Okay. What else? Where were we? So we should... We start with 1. Yeah, let's start with 1. Because that's the min size, so... Let's rename this to max size. Equals 0, I is less than Let's then wait. So this should not be I. This should be. Let's make this size, I guess. It's less than matrix dot size minus max size plus 1. Actually, no, this is not what we wanted to do. Let's see. How do you want to keep track of visited? Or I guess to visit. Or to revisit, I guess. I'm gonna pop a hint. I'm feeling a little impatient. Okay, so this is pretty much oh wait, I didn't think about that. All subsquares, truck of the sum makes the whole array to be ones. Okay, well I guess that makes sense. Is this faster? This is a DP problem? Huh. Okay, well. Let's just iterate over everything first. Let's see. Where do we go from here? Not matrix.size. That's not the right key. Matrix 0 size. Okay. We can like kind of reduce the problem, to be honest. It's my idea. I can't really draw this, but at every iteration, if there is like a 2x2 block, then we mark the upper left corner with like 1 or something, or we mark the upper left corner, and then if there are if there's a 2x2 of those markings, then that's like a size 3 square. And then we can keep reducing that. I guess this size makes it a little bit viable, I guess. Okay, well, Let's get the result first. So there's the result counter. And then what do you do from here? Wait, we need to mess with the size stuff again. Size minus max size minus max size plus 1. This one's also minus size plus 1. Let's make this 2. Let's do the first loop by hand. Is there a better way to do this? I feel like there has to be. Hey Janine, how's it going? Oh, wait, I see where this is going. Then how does this iteration work? This doesn't really make sense to me, at least. I'm gonna read the editorial, see what it says. One by one, each cell with only one contributes to the count. Larger than 1 by 1. Size of the largest square submatrix with its bottom right corner at ij determines the count possible square submatrices. Oh yeah, wait, this is literally what I was doing. Or at least attempting to do, but I couldn't figure out the implementation at least. It mentions the original one. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, I guess that makes sense, yeah. So each of these is determined by its value is determined by the minimum of the 3 around it. I guess that makes sense. I didn't think about it that way. Okay, bet. Okay. I think I know how to implement this without looking at the actual code then at least. I was definitely on the wrong track, to be honest. I was trying to do some like I was trying to do it like recursively, but honestly this makes a lot more sense. Let's make a 2D vector. We default initialize it to we want it to be matrix.size. Matrix.size, and then we want the default value to be vector matrix vector int. We want matrix 0.size. We want 0 in it. Let's get rid of that for now. Where do we go from here? Okay, yeah, I see. So we should default initialize the 2 sides at least. Actually we could just copy matrix. No, we could just keep matrix, to be honest. Yeah, actually. Yeah, okay. We can do this really lazily. Make this 1, let's make this 1 as well. Let's learn matrix at matrix at ij equals 0, and we continue. And then okay, so then matrix at ij equals min of matrix I j minus 1 matrix I minus 1 j, and then matrix I minus 1 j minus 1. Now we should be able to just sum over all of it, I think. I think there's a way to do this, right? You can just use accumulate. That's a little bit gross, actually. Maybe I'll just do it the boring way. We could even do this in one pass. No, we can't. Can we? Yes, because we look at all those values once. But then we just need to accumulate across the horizontal and the vertical. Yeah, okay. We can definitely do this just like this, I think, if this is theoretically sound. If I equals 0 or j equals 0. Let me just make this a literal or. Actually, yeah. So I can paste it better. I can put this here. And let's put this in an else block. Let's make this a little more readable. And then here we return res. Oh. Let's get rid of the old stuff. Minus size plus 1. Do I need to escape this? Oh, /+1. Okay. That's what I'm missing. Space minus size /+1. There we go. Yeah, we're pulling out the macros on a LeetCode problem. What does this take? Let's just wrap it with another min. So it's a little bit less annoying to work with. This one matches with that. This one matches with that. Yeah, okay, I see. Whoops. Okay, well that's not ideal. How's this happening? Which example is this? This is this one. Oh, wait. Which ones are just getting? This is just getting the outside ones. Let's make it print out matrix properly. Auto back matrix. No. Let's say no to print debugging. Let's do this the hard way. Matrix ij-1. So it should be skipping when it's 0. It's finding these. Should find this. This one it should. Oh wait, it's overwriting. I see. We can actually skip this, I think, because we should always increment it. How do we want to do this? Max square equals oh wait, I see what I'm messing up here. +1. Right? I think so. Oh, that was not the right button to press. Yeah, okay. That's not ideal. Addition overflow. What? Oh wait. Wait, so we do need the other thing there, yeah. Then here we just +1 it. There we go. Okay. I think we did it finally. And it's passably fast. Okay. What's this? What's this constant? Oh god. Okay, I guess this is more compiler friendly. This is like theoretically slower, I think. Actually, how did it do the min case handling? That's what I'm interested in. It just chained them as well. Okay, well, Yeah, I guess the loop optimizations are really strong, huh? Let me give this a try. Actually, no, I'm not gonna give this a try. I don't have all the time in the world. This is done. So we're gonna move to kaleidoscope. So So just demoing what I had last time. Does this run? Do I need to? Okay, it runs. So let's see. Let me open up the kaleidoscope tutorial. So there's some example code in here, but pretty much I got this main loop running. So if I just call the functions that it tells me to plug in, at least, it should provide correct output. Yeah. So if I type in 4 plus 5, it generates IR here. Then just plug in the other ones. How much of the language have you fleshed out so far? It's pretty much just up to what the tutorial has at this point. I think the next steps are pretty much to just keep extending it though. Let's see. Yeah, so after optimizer stuff, we had control flow, user-defined operators, mutable variables. Yeah, and then from there, I think it's just syntactic sugar beyond that. I think that's like the extent to which most of the stuff is like top level or like base level interesting rather, because everything else is just wrapping around that. Where am I? Yeah, so I plugged in that function. That generates that. Yeah, the tutorial is like, it's a little bit finicky because it kind of just sticks everything in one file, which hurts me a little bit. So I like tried to split it up into like a proper structure, at least to some degree. And then it turns out I don't know how to link LLVM properly, so I might have used Copilot for like, or not Copilot, ChatGPT for like 20 minutes to generate CMake lists, but so it goes. Yeah, I'll spare the time of like printing in all of this stuff, but yeah, it vomits out the IR somewhere, I think. Uh-oh. Did I have it commented out? I think I have the thing commented out, but it should generate code at least. It's in parser? No, it's in compiler. Of course it's in the main loop. Yeah, there's this write to bitcode thing that it used to run. I'm not sure why dump IR is not working anymore. Yeah, something broke. Maybe ctrl+c. Oh yeah, ctrl+c. Of course that's not gonna work. that just full kills it. And then ctrl+z. Nope. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll get that sorted out as well today, I guess. It's just. Yeah. I don't think I'll have time to get to this today, but I guess so it goes. Yeah, let's look at dump IR first. Why is that broken? Where does go? AST. That should work. Oh, it's gonna error. Okay. Let's just comment this out. I think I did something finicky with it last time and I didn't rebuild it. Uh-oh. That's not supposed to happen. Okay, let's see. Uninteractive. Goes to dump IR. Should print. Just found this. This is the perfect thing to space out to while writing my compiler. Yippee. That makes the both of us. Why doesn't this work? Yep, knew of him, of course. Because why would anyone use anything else? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it does print. Okay, well, yeah. Sure. Something about the buffer. I'm not really sure what's going on. I need to learn more about C++, but yeah, that works. And then the other thing was if we just steal wrong way. We still write to bitcode. I should rebuild it. Kaleidoscope starts with a K, not with a C. Let's just do this. So now if I stop it, it generates kaleidoscope.bc. So then if I LVM dis it, it saves the, yeah. It outputs actual bytecode / readable form with disassemble. So yeah, that's that little bit. The thing I want to finish this time is, first of all, is this run file input mess. I started templating it out last time. I didn't really know what I was doing. After a night of sleep, I still don't particularly know what I'm doing, so we'll see what happens here. Yeah. I guess I wouldn't be reading LVM directly from file. So you're just doing the tutorial? Yeah, pretty much, but I'm also tinkering with it a little bit, just externally from the book. Partially so I can like engage with it better, partially so I can get a better sense of like what an actual language front end would have to do, and just like generally trying to get more familiar with the LVM ecosystem. So in file. Also, part of that process is learning C++, because I spent way too much time in Python land. And like, that made sense when I was just building things to put on a resume, but at the end of the day, I have to at least make some semblance of an effort to like learn the language that I would theoretically be using for the foreseeable future, so I may as well use this time to do a little bit of that learning. c.io. The C++, yeah, C++ reference. fopen. Open, this takes that. Yeah, it looked very unavoidable to me. And like, I've done like some work with Rust just for like a previous research project, but it's a little bit unwieldy, and like the C++ context is still pretty important to have. Work in C most of the time, but sort of learning C++ myself, although a slight advantage because C, yeah, that makes sense. That is something else I need to learn as well. I should probably learn more like C proper, especially since like last stream I discovered that LLVM uses a lot of like the C++ versions of C headers, and I think just like being more familiar with that will also help me learn this a little bit more. Because I'm like vaguely familiar with all this stuff, but I haven't really looked into it too much. So, or at least the last time I opened a file in C was like, how long ago now? Like 2.5 years ago. So it's a little bit scary. fopen. Is this a thing I can do? Let's see if this is a thing I can do. In file name, and then I want this to read. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It does just like, it does give a lot of control, I guess, to the programmer. And that is something that's kind of just lost with more abstraction, which is simultaneously nice and not nice. If you write enough C, you see the world as C. That's such a mood. I know a lot of people, me included, who've like done a lot of LeetCode in Python. I can imagine like, since like it's pretty much the go-to language that people recommend. I feel like it's developed a lot of people who just see problems in terms of like list comprehensions, which in the moment it felt cool. In hindsight, I'm not really sure about that, but yeah. Do I want a file stream actually? What's the difference? Oh, it's the same thing. Okay, neat. Read from streams, write to streams. Ah, I see. Stream buffer comes in because... Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Skip these two. Okay. So file doesn't exist. Should probably have some sort of error printing thing, but yeah, let's check that. Ugh. Python's really good for making algorithms. Everything else good for performance level stuff. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I wonder where Java fits into that. It kind of like Java and like C#. They kind of toe the line. I guess depending on who you ask, it's probably best of both worlds or worst of both worlds. Yeah, that makes sense. Put char. That makes sense. Okay, so let's pass in file here. For reference, the way I had it set up last time, Lexer. Yeah, Lexer takes an in stream. Although .NET runtime has a huge market share and F# is interesting in its own way. That makes sense. I haven't looked into it too much. It'd probably be smart for me to look into it, but I'll probably do that after the stream. Mistakes file. And then we need to close this, right? Close. Yeah, it seems like Microsoft is doing that. I saw like the whole TypeScript, the whole native TypeScript thing, which was really cool. And then I saw one of the guys, or like that one LinkedIn post that went viral about the guy that got fired, like, or laid off after that, and it was a little scary. I feel like the roles I want to target are probably gonna end up being, like, I guess literal compiler dev, but I guess that is somewhere I should probably look as well. Yeah, C macros, that's actually a little side tangent. When I first learned about C macros, I made a really silly project. Let's see, where does this live? It's down here? Ah. Yeah. I did this and then this is, depending on how you look at this is either my greatest work or some of my worst work, but yeah. Yeah. I like to think I've gotten a little bit better at writing code in general since then, but I've done a little bit of macro stuff in Rust, ironically. But I haven't really like done it in C too much. I imagine it'd be easier in C because it's more like, I guess there's more user control and there's like less guardrails, just for language design reasons. I think I might have used one somewhere, but yeah. I've like always strayed away from being too macro dependent just because a lot of the education I've gotten so far sort of subscribes more heavily to readability. Oh, fake generics. That makes a lot of sense. I think that was something similar I did in Rust as well. Because for our compiler research group, I was extending one of our compilers to accept Rust code. So for that front end, I pretty much just used FFI to wrap all the C functions, and that was a little annoying. So I just I made a Rust macro to process all of that. which is crazy because that whole project had me writing unsafe Rust code before I properly learned how to work with like LLVM. So we're progressing in a very linear fashion. I'll close here. I think I could put it here. How do I want to parse this? Instead of run, and then just do that. Okay. So we can get rid of this. So we can do that. I guess this kind of steals all the stuff from the main loop. Okay, I guess I can visual around function, but I can't visual in function. Parse stream. Don't think I've ever used std cout in C++. That's crazy, to be honest. Yeah, I'm starting to understand the fun of printf. What's up, Aiden? How's it going? I personally am currently English is hard. Currently I'm trying to get file input working. Or just inputting from file, rather. What if I just did some gross code duplicity stuff? Yeah, let's be gross here. Let's write some ugly code. Yeah, that looks about right. Let's try out a macro. If okay. Okay, how do I do this? Auto ast equals parse. Wait, no, I want to keep that one. I'm overcomplicating this. But it's part of the fun of Vim, I guess. Auto star ir. And let's just read until close squiggly. Uh-oh. Wait. Slash? Wait, how do I... What am I doing? My NeoVim config is better than your NeoVim config. I raise you that mine is better than yours. Oh, start IR. I might like... Wait. Let me just match this entire line. Oh, wait, I see what I was missing. I was missing a dot star. Wait. Does this only match one line? Vim find replace multiple lines. Yeah, I already did today's LeetCode. But I couldn't figure out like the solution initially, so I kind of looked at the editorial, but then I wrote the code from there, so it was like fine. Yeah, because low-key I have like, this is one of the few times that I actually have like a literal time ceiling, because I'm getting dinner with a couple of friends back home later. So so it didn't really make sense for me to spend 2 hours doing the daily. Yeah, I probably could have done brute force, but what's the fun in that? Like I guess like if there's like a real solution to be done, I may as well do the real solution. But if it's like a trivial problem like the let's go to leetcode. The daily a couple days ago, I think there was a really silly one. Also, ignore the solution. I mean, I think that's fair. I think like if lost past 20 minutes, then like I don't think another 40 is really gonna change anything. It was this one. This one. Good content. Yeah. Where was I? That was a beautiful problem. What's the line break here? /r? Vim find replace match line break /r. It was /r. One line break, two line breaks, three line breaks, four line breaks. Wait, what? /n? Oh, it is just. Can I just. Four dot slash n dot star slash n. We'll just do this by hand. Star slash n. And then match everything but bracket. And then we replace that with IST. Oh wait, this matches like everything. That's really unlucky. Usually do them in Python, so I'm messing around with string conversions, which isn't too bad in Python, but would be annoying in C++. Yeah, low key. I thought it was like not that bad for what it's worth. You just run it through like string to I and like toString. But it definitely causes some like train car mess. Yeah, so we're getting rid of this, I think. Yeah, we can. Anyways, we're gonna say goodbye to our macro dreams and we're just gonna manually replace these. Unfortunately. If you didn't catch why the macro wouldn't work, it's because I have the exact same thing up here that I copied from. So it would replace the stuff that I want to keep, unfortunately. Yeah, so this should be fine, I think. That parse of the stream. Let me close the file. Okay. I should probably get a test file open, or a test file up for this. Yeah, okay. Test in, sure. Let's just copy everything it has here. May as well do my little college student surviving through classes cosplay. Oh, whoops. Can build kaleidoscope test.in. Uh-oh. What did I miss? Did it output a file? No, it didn't. Let's read from the file. Create the lexer. Oh. I think I need to prime it. Right? Do I need to do that? Then do I have out file name? Yeah, I do. What am I missing here? That's not ideal. Okay, that's... So speaking of this... So it looks like priming it was the right move. I think the loop is still interactive, which is not what we want here. We want parser. That's not the right button. There we go. And then should probably maybe just get next token up here. Not spelled like that. Yeah. One of the people I know has a make rebuild alias set to just make clean, make build. Maybe I should do that at some point. That doesn't seem ideal. Let's try that again. Okay. I don't really understand streams that well. I guess that might be what's happening. Oh, I'm in parser. Compiler. Maybe it's in here? Let's just make it print everything first. This other guy did it in here. C from in file. Then we should do this anyway. So what is C? Int. Let's see. Oh, that's not it. There we go. Okay, so it prints everything. So that's not the problem. So what's going wrong? Just comment that actually. So Lexer takes in file. So where is get toke? Get C. So it does literally the same thing. So what's happening? Okay, it definitely reads EOF. So that's a thing. What happens if I get rid of this? No, Wait. Maybe it's the way that this loop is structured, because this is like, I literally did just copy the, I did literally just copy this default loop. No, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. It's gonna be a minute, so I'll be right back. In the meantime, my sister is practicing piano downstairs, so if you're still listening to the stream, you're obligated to clap for her in the chat. All right, I'm back. Post-grad life at your parents' house moment. That's so real. I'm a little bit scared that that will end up being my reality. Let me check something real quick. Okay. So we were trying to figure out why this doesn't just run. So let's just print tested error. This is the wrong loop. Is there a C read file? This doesn't really help me. Let's just do this. Let's just print out every iteration, see what happens. If it's working, then great. If not, then, well, I guess then we know the problem. Ah, I understand it now. Okay. I have to hit enter every time. that's because of the way get next token is set up. Circuit token. All good. Same boat for the past year. Moving out soon. Having friends in the same situation makes it so much more bearable. That makes a lot of sense. There is definitely some comfort in just knowing that it's not like a one-off situation. Like this job market, this economy is admittedly a little bit tough. Like new grads are, I think the numbers do not look good for new grads finding employment in general, let alone like CS. There's like that one Wall Street Journal article that went viral a little bit ago. That's the wrong place. Lexer. I think the file read is not doing what I quite want it to, I think. Because this should just be working with the stream. C stream, C file, stream, read. Get line. Oh yeah, I can do that. Wait. Wait. I should know that exists. Read equals get line. C file stream process line by line. Line as line to stream. Okay, well, when in doubt. Let's see. How do I? What are these suggestions? Improve my public speaking. So improve my productivity from working from home. That one's huge. Let's see. How do I even ask this? let's actually just... Yeah, let's look in parser. Let's steal this loop. How do I make this run until EOF? Let's start there. Okay, I do that already. ChatGPT, everyone's favorite. Let me make sure that eventually says EOF. When I run it, it parses each token with each enter press. Yeah, it's thinking. It's definitely thinking. It's... Okay, great. Maybe... Stood in as in stream. Oh, wait. Wait, what if I try that, actually? Let's go try. Instead of doing it like this, let's pass it in like that. Okay, so that works. But that's not what I want it to do. It's just... Let's go with this. Oh, wait, I see. Slurps the entire file. Run interactive is fine. I want to change run file input to just process an input file. You don't want it? What? Wait, what? Is this not what my run interactive, run file input does? Not, no. My parse stream does. Parser. Do what? No, but it doesn't work. Oh, wait, that's smart. Alright, let's rebuild it. Oh, right, yeah, I need to wait for it. Impatient me. Okay, let's do a little bit of feeding. What? Ew. I see. That makes sense now. Get C. Okay, I can't lie. I never looked there to begin with, so that is kind of on me. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, sure. It's good practice? No. Yes, but no. Still doesn't work. Think. What if I did that? That changes nothing. Okay, that makes sense. What if I just let's start with this. Find dot type f, other way around, dash type f. Grep xr is grep. Get char. Not the parser. Lexer. Get char. Yeah, okay. There we go. That makes sense now. Char. Get C in stream. So this should work now in theory. Okay, that's a good sign. Let me just delete that. Let's do this again. Let's pass in test in. And then LVM dis. BC. Okay, we got it working. Let's go. First try, definitely. All right. That's huge. Okay, so let's just get rid of the debug stuff. Okay. Yeah. Take care, Rudy. Aiden was actually the one that inspired me to do this, so you should also go check out his stuff while you're at it. He streams probably in like 2 or 3 hours if I had to guess. Yeah. Thank you for popping in. Means a lot to me. Where's loop? Oh wait, no. This is the debug. Let's run this again. Oh yeah, that doesn't exist. Okay, so that just... Can we make this exit a little bit more gracefully? Let's see. Let's actually push this first. Get status, get add, test. So what do we do here? We implement file input. AST. Why am I looking at AST again? It's not AST. I want to test. Just this. Okay, well, oh, I guess that does work, even if it's like the broken work. Yeah. Okay. So back on this list, we have this fixed. I should probably look into this anyway, just because it's a little bit awkward not having this work on just like single inputs. How do we make this handle? Explicit. Anyway. Let's steal the examples from the previous step of the tutorial, actually. Does this work if we even just like... Let's run the test on the test small. Wait. Okay, those are not added. Maybe I should add those real quick. Ignore. We can just cat even. Okay, so this does just work with one then. So what happens if I... + 5. Okay, so that does save that. Or that does output that, rather. Okay, so now it works, which is really confusing. I'm not really sure why that's happening. What was I plugging in before? Was I Control-Cing it? Yeah, okay, that was it, yeah. So, quite obviously, if I Control-C to kill, that's very different than passing in a Control-D. So, yeah, that fixes that. Let's get that out of the way. So I guess this was kind of fixed. I don't think that it really counts as something to be fixed, just period, but I guess it fixes. Sure. Yeah. Do I have time? I think I'm pretty much... I have a little bit of time, but I don't think it's enough to really get started on part 4 of the tutorial. But I think all of the little side quests, all of the other small things to be addressed, I think all of those are finally done. So yeah, I think I'll finally unironically actually get started with chapter 4 tomorrow, which is about JIT and optimizer support. I guess I could read through it a little bit. Yeah, I guess this makes sense. It is cool that this does provide constant folding. Oh, just by default. I guess it makes sense why, but interesting that the builder does that. No syntactic overhead. Dramatically reduce the amount of error generated. Okay, this makes sense. Something transformations. Yeah, I will look into this more properly next time. But for now, I'm going to head out and get some dinner, chat with some people that made high school bearable for me. So yeah, thank you all for sticking around for this stream. Be sure to like the VOD and sub if you haven't. Right after the stream ends, I'll schedule tomorrow's stream. It should be around the same time, around 5 p.m. 5 p.m. PST. If you know anyone that can refer me anywhere, preferably like compiler intern positions, because I have another summer ahead of me before I graduate, please send my resume their way. Make sure to, I guess, follow me on GitHub and connect with me on LinkedIn. Yeah, this has been day 10. Thank you all for being here. Take care, take it easy.